Welcome to another episode of High Voltage Diesel. Hang on to your armchairs and get ready to have a meltdown as you watch the new videos.
You guessed it, we're back here at the High Voltage Diesel plant for another one of these amazing high voltage videos. So what do we got going on today? Well, let's find out. That's what we got going on today. Not the crankshaft, that was in the last video. We have one brand new skid steer track that we are going to be putting on our New Holland skid steer. Why are we putting the track on? Well, let's go outside and see what the problem is, and that'll explain why we're putting the track on today. Well, as you can see, these tracks have seen better days. They're covered with snow, it's hard to see, but there's a lot of deep cracks in these, and you could see the sprocket is just about wore out to the tip, so that means they're pretty well shot. So the reason I'm only doing one is because that's all I can afford, and the reason I'm only doing one, I can't tell where it is, but this track actually cracked on one side. So the one side of it split, and when it goes around, it's jumping off, trying to jump off the sprocket. It's one of these really bad cracks on the inside. I actually think it's possibly that one there, but when it comes around, you can actually see it jumping off. So it's just a matter of time before this track just completely breaks. The other one's shot just as bad, but the other one's still holding on for dear life here. So the only thing I got to use it for this time of the year is just a plow. So we replace the bad one, and hopefully we'll be all right for the winter just to run the plow with for now. Here's one of the really bad cracks. I'm not sure which one it is right now, but you notice it more when the track, see the whole undercarriage on this machine needs to be rebuilt. This needs new seals in the final drives because it leaks oil. It needs new seals in the idler that keeps the track tight, because when it's cold it just leaks back and I constantly have to tighten it, but that's the way it is. Yes, I know you guys are probably questioning, well, you're gonna put a new track in there but not a sprocket. No, I know. With a new track comes a new sprocket. So there's the new sprocket. So hopefully that'll fix the problem for now.
Now I really just dodged an armchair meltdown right there.
Alright, now it's time to pull the grease fitting out that keeps tension on the track. This usually makes quite the mess. A lot easier if I had a socket. Oh. See the grease pouring out of it. I don't know if you guys can see in there or not. Lighting in here isn't the best. There's grease pouring out of there though. And you can even see the track slacking up. Usually I don't have to take these all the way out. That's good right there. Okay, so now the best thing usually to do is to get a board between the bucket. It's always nice to have a bucket on when you're doing this. Get a board between the bucket and the track, and then just use the bucket to push that front idler back as far as you could possibly get it. And we'll try that first. A lot of times you got to add another one. It's a lot easier to have a second person when you're doing this, but it works pretty good. Yeah, that's what's nice about working on a lot of this power equipment, doing stuff like this, because the machine itself will actually kind of render you a helping hand when it comes to doing projects like this. So now you can see we got this track plenty loose enough. That track should come right off of there, no problem. So now the next thing to do is to put a board under the back and a board under the bucket here. Trick is to get the biggest possible piece of wood you could possibly fit under the back. It usually works better the further back you can get it, but this thing here is on a hinge and it'll just bend, so that's kind of gonna have to be our pivot point. I mean, if you got jacks, that's easy too, but like I said, the machine helps you as long as the machine runs when you're doing something like this. And then you don't have to put boards under the bucket, but it's a lot better to put blocks under the bucket because you could just lift it up even that much higher and just make it so much easier on yourself. So basically you'll lift up, it'll be a pivot on the back, it'll lift the back of the machine up and at the same time lift the front up. That makes it a lot easier to get that track off. Obviously use common sense and don't get your body parts under any of this stuff, but the only thing left to do now is wrestle this stupid track off, and then we can start taking the bolts for the sprocket off. That ought to be real fun because these are Allens. I don't know why companies do stuff like this. It's nice to have a person in here because if a person spins that sprocket, they could usually, you just spin this right off, but it's so loose, should be able to get it right off pretty easy. Alright, I got a helper coming over. I'm not as young as I once was. My back and body just ain't cut out for this lugging anymore, especially when I could just get somebody in there and just turn the damn thing and it'll come right off. Let's go forward a little bit so I can see what it looks like. And as I'm sitting here editing this video, I'm looking at this thinking, man, I was pretty darn close to having an armchair meltdown. And I'm not even anywhere near an armchair. You know, this is the kind of stuff where, like, this is where we have problems with engineers. You know, why couldn't they have just simply moved them bolts out just another 1/4 inch towards the outside of the sprocket, and they could have just put a regular hex bolt in there. You could have got a socket on it, and everything would have just been hunky-dory. But no, now we have to just hope that we can get all 8 of these bolts out. I already broke one off in the beginning, off camera. That's just crazy. Where if they were regular bolts, just put a socket on it, we would have been done with this in the time it took me to do one of these. Now I did mess up a little bit. I haven't completely changed with the times yet. And I realized after I ordered my 9/16 Allen wrench that this was actually a 14mm because this is a metric machine. And as all you mechanics out there might know, that 9/16 is just slightly bigger than 14mm. So I had to pound all these in there. But looking back, I think it was a good thing that I had to pound them in there because I kind of shocked them loose and I made the Allen wrench fit really tight. So a 14mm might have not actually done it. I might have actually stripped them out. So the bottom line is I all got them out and I didn't have to do any major surgery to cut anything.
You gotta buy all brand new hardware right from New Holland. Alright, go ahead and spin that.
Go forward. Alright, good. That's good.
Stay in or get out?
Stay in there for a little bit. Good.
Alright, start it up and go forward. Alright. Yeah, leave it on. Alright, forward. Stop. Go forward. Right there, stop. All right,
shut off.
Knock it out.
Yeah, you can get out now.
You don't want a smaller shovel? Bigger or something?
Almost looks weird on there. Okay. Make it easier for the next guy, which will probably be me.
You want to hold the tube? At least it was before it was greased. We'll bring it my way more. That roll, that pipe will come over
I
here.
think we really too much more. It's gonna collapse. It's gonna be 180 degrees apart. I think we just try to get it, work it in there. You got off the bottom then.
Bottom's not. Fucking rocks.
Here, hold this side.
Huh?
Just be prepared to hit that. That thing will take right off.
No ratchet.
Hold this in. Let me get up there. How is that remotely supposed to go on there?
So let me hand that side. You can move your buttons.
You gotta let yours down. You're making that too tight. Alright, hold it.
won't come off.
But that might be costing so much because this is tight. It is really tight.
I'll go next.
So tight. There we go. Man. That was smart. It'd be easier if you get in the machine and you try to
Roll it on.
roll it on.
I think it's best if you get in the machine and roll it a little bit. Go back a little. Hold it, hold it. Hold it right there. Alright, we're on. Back.
Backwards?
The back. Alright, roll forward a little. Stop, stop, stop.
Stop.
It's stopping, it's just going back. I'm losing everything I get. Alright, roll forward a little. We're on. I think we're on. Well, that completes, well, half of this project anyway. Wow. Looking at this new sprocket versus this old sprocket, I mean, there isn't any teeth left on this thing. This thing is wasted. It was definitely time definitely time. Hopefully this is the last time I'll put tracks on this for a long time. Yeah, I really don't use this machine that much. I mean, I use it for a lot of jobs, but it doesn't get ran for thousands. I mean, this machine only has like 1,400 hours on it. I bought it with 850 hours on it just a little over 5 years ago, so that means I only put 600 hours on it in 5 years, so that's a little over 100 hours a year I put on this machine, so that's really not much. So theoretically, at that rate, I get about another 8 years out of it. Well, actually, another 10 years out of the tracks for the way I use it, but I'm sure the undercarriage, the rest of the undercarriage is going to have issues before the tracks do. I have quite a few problems I have to address with the undercarriage. I just can't afford it right now. But I got looking at this side, and actually the teeth on this sprocket here are still about twice as thick as the ones on the sprocket that came off, so that means I still got a little life left in this one. But that other one was running fine, it just the track broke. I can't figure out where it broke, but it broke on the inside. As one of these cracks like this, it just unclipped itself and it was just crooked, and it was riding crooked. Alright, well, I don't have anything to do with the machine this time of the year. It's raining out now. We got about a foot of snow in the last week, but it's raining now and just about all the snow is gone. So I was kind of hoping to plow some snow, but it's all mush and I'll really just ruin the driveway. I was hoping to do a little something on this to kind of test it out, but I don't have anything to do with this machine. I just use it to plow snow and move around engines and just heavy stuff in the winter time. So hopefully you guys might have learned something, probably not, but either way, we shared the experience with you. So why don't you share some love back? Hit that subscribe button, give me a like, throw in the comments, tell me if you had an armchair meltdown watching this or not. Tell me what I did right or wrong. I want to hear your feedback. But anyway, until next time, we will see you guys on the next episode of High Voltage Diesel. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next time. Take care.